One of the most common questions that I get asked as a writer and author is how I write so fast. And that's usually by my compatriots and peers in the writing space. Because sometimes they're only putting out, maybe 300, 500 words a day. Well, I'm able to do 2,000, 3,400 words a day. And that is not really exactly fast for indie authors. A lot of indie authors are putting out, say, 10,000 plus words a day. This is going to be a really wobbly video. But one of my secrets to doing that, to writing 2,500 plus words a day, is dictation. So the phone I'm recording on right now, my process for dictation was literally, I would open up the Pages app and I would hit the voice record mode where it just dictates and transcribes the dictation that you're doing automatically. And I would just go on walks like I did right now. And I just found a gardener snake a second ago. I was playing with that little buddy for today. And it's just so fun because you're able to, not only are you writing faster, you can speak around 110, 120 words per minute compared to my typing speed, which is like 50 words per minute. It's a lot faster to dictate. Sorry for the barking dogs. It's just so much faster, and it's also more enjoyable for me because I'm kind of something of a voracious audiobook listener. Because, I'll go through 1, 2, 3 audiobooks per week. Sorry, I'm looking for the gardener snake, which was just right here. Maybe I can find him. I doubt it though. And that means that I'm listening to what I think are good pieces of fiction verbally. They are orally told, and oral storytelling has been around for it essentially is the oldest form of storytelling, and it's one of the purest forms because oftentimes, oh man, that is a massive spider. Very cool. Hey buddy, what's up? I don't know if you can see that, but he's very large, like in comparison to my hand. Massive, man. Anyways, sorry. But storytelling has always been oral, and only in the past around 300-ish years have we transferred to writing and reading, specifically in a written format almost exclusively. And so for audiobooks, the great thing about that is you're able to listen to what good writing sounds like and understand that, because if you've ever tried to edit some of your work and just read it out loud, you understand that that process allows you to better comprehend what is going on within the sentence, more specifically on how that feels when read. If I read a bad sentence written by myself out loud, it's going to feel a lot different than it will read just in the mind, because you don't really catch those really odd turns of phrase that you would if you're reading it out loud. So that is an automatic filter for what you are putting out verbally. Another thing is, because I'm listening to many audiobooks, it allows me to improve my writing based upon what I'm listening to, because I understand what I'm listening to well compared to, say, reading. There's a method called Benjamin Franklin method, which I believe I did a video on in the past, probably unfortunately like one of my first videos, like 5-ish years ago maybe, and that lets you refine your writing instantaneously. I joke about instantaneously by simply writing down a passage from what you think is good writing, and then from there writing it down, trying to do it from memory without references, and then comparing. And so your brain is slowly comparing your word choices and the original author's word choices, which is just really fun to see the improvements there that you will see from doing that. But with audiobooks and with dictation, it kind of removes the entirety of the middleman in the process. And so I would say that my writing has improved kind of exponentially since I started dictating, because it lets you go from having to have that middleman and completely eliminating that in the improvement process. Also, it's just so much more convenient. There's a massive thing within the productivity space called friction, which is just the amount of discipline or effort that you have to put into creating or accomplishing any task. So let's say if I wanted to, in the olden days when I still wrote with a keyboard, and I still love editing. Editing is where the magic happens, and that is on a keyboard. But when I wrote primarily like first drafts on a keyboard or on a typewriter, the process was, I had to plug the typewriter in because it's electric. I had to open the computer up and I had to avoid the cool Pinterest pop-ups for my books, Pinterest board. And then I had to go to my word processor, I had to open that up, etc. And of course, the same can be said for when you do dictation on an iPhone. There's all these distractions and you've got to go and open up the right software. But then you can just talk. Like this video, I can probably turn into a essay or bulletin pretty easily because I'll just make it into an MP3 and then put that through my dictation to transcription software, which is, by the way, bookscribe.ai, which is created by Seth Ring, one of the best lit RPG authors that I know, and I also got to interview him on monetizing your writing while you're writing it, so that was a great interview. Another reason for using dictation is you don't have to actually go through and specifically lay out a time to, okay, I'm gonna write from 9 a.m. to 10 and I'm gonna sit down at this coffee shop and I'm gonna do this. You can dictate on the way home from school. You can dictate anywhere. Like I got home from school and I dictated a little bit on the way home because it's kind of distraction free. I have this little thing. It's basically just got a record button, a pause button, stop button. You can save files, you can delete files, and then it has a USB that automatically kind of pops out, and plug that in, a file pops up, and I can just drag and drop that within 2 minutes into my transcription tool, which is just so cool because it eliminates so much of that friction. But this thing's tiny. I just pop this in my pocket. I have way too many things in my pockets nowadays, but I'm able to slip this in there and carry it around. And if I ever have time throughout my day in little spurts and, jumps and starts, I'm able to just pull this out and dictate for about 2 minutes. So maybe that's 200 words down because I've been thinking about that scene for a long time. But this means that instead of big chunks, and I still love doing big chunks, but sometimes it gets tiresome. Kevin J. Anderson, who did a lot of Dune books, a lot of great Star Wars books, he will dictate in a way that lets him go out and then on massive hikes. He lives in the Rockies, actually. I live almost in the Rockies. And he'll just come back basically with a finished first draft of his book because he'll just do a hike all day. And I wish I could do that, but I'm still a full-time student, so this just intermittently works better. This is actually the same tool he uses, I believe, that he recommended. It's like $50, and it was the best $50 I've probably ever spent because it was so beneficial to my writing. Maybe a thumbnail shot here. Maybe, no, I don't know. And so it's just so much more convenient. It's so much faster. I write better with it. Yeah, that's how I write 2,500 words plus every single day. So that's how I do it. I do have a free gift for you guys for sticking here till the end. If you like science fiction fantasy as a reader or as a writer, I have a free short story that it's like 1,000 words long, bit of an experimental piece for me. Trying to write in first person, which I rarely do. Kind of if Dune meets Red Rising, and it's inspired by a single sentence within the God Emperor of Dune, which is one of the weirdest Dune books, if you've read those. So if that sounds interesting, This Bleeding Light, that is in the link in the description. It's completely free. Love if you check it out. I also have a novel coming out actively currently. It is a serial novel, so it's edited lightly. New chapters come out every other day at 8 a.m. Chapter dropped this morning, so it's really fun. We've been doing that for about 25 days, and we're already close to, I believe, 60,000 words on this specific novel draft, and so should be fun finishing that up actively and in a serial format. So Wolves of Imperium, that is available It should be Wolves of Peace soon, but a link will be down in the description. That's on Royal Road. Thank you guys for joining me. If you want to write 2,500 words per day, you can do that now. So I will also drop a video pretty soon all about my personal dictation process. I hope you guys have a great day. Blessings.